Now to some stories we're following at this time. After several years of falling short, Nigeria has finally met its oil production target set by the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, otherwise known as OPEC. The country reached its quota in the December 2024 oil production cycle. According to a review by our sister publication This Day newspaper, based on a Bloomberg survey, Nigeria's oil production rose by 40,000 barrels per day to 1.51 million barrels per day. And that's a 4-year high. But this aligns with Nigeria's current OPEC target of 1.5 million barrels per day. The survey findings were released as official OPEC production data, as well as figures from Nigeria's upstream regulator, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, were still pending. OPEC had previously reduced Nigeria's quota to 1.5 million barrels per day in 2023 after the country consistently failed to meet its 1.8 million barrels per day target. Well, on Monday, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Oil, Senator Heineken Lokwebere, reported that under President Tinubu's administration, crude output has risen from 1 million barrels per day to a 1.8 million barrels per day, and that's including condensates.
Now, Maurice Ibe, who's an oil and gas expert, is in the studio to shed more light on this development. Good evening, Mr. Ibe. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Good evening and
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And thanks for being here. Well, after years of missing OPEC's quotas, Nigeria has finally hit that 1.5 million barrels per day mark, December 2024. What tipped the scale this time? What is it? Government policy, industry reforms, stroke of luck? What is it?
I think it's a combination of factors. Most critically is the reduction in oil theft in the Niger Delta region. They've reduced bunkering to quite a reasonable degree. There's less destruction of pipelines and production facilities. I think you have to really give the government some level of kudos at this point. It's a welcome development, long coming, needed to arrive here. We're happy we're here, and I have to congratulate the government for being where we are today in the production capacity of the country.
And while commending them, how can we sustain this newfound success? What are the risks of backsliding? We don't want to backslide.
Very good question. It will still intend a lot of work, especially within the security services, because what has brought us here is the fact that the security services have done quite a reasonable job in keeping away oil theft, in reducing oil theft to a reasonable degree, fighting oil bunkering, and also keeping vandalism of our pipelines and all the oil infrastructure within the region. So the government should not let down. They should ramp up, keep their foot on the gas pedal to continue to protect these infrastructures, make sure the bunkering and theft of the crude facilities in the Niger Delta is kept at a reasonable degree. And also those who are responsible for supervising our oil facilities and production facilities their feet are kept on fire, because if they slack, we slack again. And we don't want to go back where we were a couple of years back.
Well said. I think the operational word in what you've said is reasonable degree, because you kept repeating that phrase, reasonable degree. So it does mean that the days and the challenges of oil bunkering, oil theft, vandalism are not completely over, but we are seeing significant steps in tackling them. That's what you're saying. Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not over by any degree or by any imagination. It's not over. The truth of the matter is that the security agencies still need to work closely with a lot of the major players and stakeholders in the industry. They need better information from the communities where these facilities are. They need to apply more modern technology and sustain what they have achieved so far. The Navy has done a wonderful job, no doubt about it, because they've been at the forefront of fighting oil theft and protecting these facilities. And the government must continue to closely monitor and supervise what they're doing, and encourage joint task forces that will also include major players and stakeholders in the industry.
Great. So when the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Oil, Senator Lokwebere, says that the hindrances to investment in the sector, which hitherto scared investors, have been tackled. I mean, investors are now putting their money in the sector, basically, is what the minister is saying. When he says that we have removed the hindrances, making operations in the country's oil and gas sector better, What do you say to that? Do you agree with him?
What I say to the Honorable Minister is that there is not one particular factor that is affecting investment in the sector. It's a combination of factors. Oil theft, vandalism, and all those are one sector. The overall policies of the government within the oil and gas industry needs to be very carefully retooled, monitored, and made more attractive. It's not just one thing. It has no one silver bullet that will fix and attract all the foreign investors in the country. This is just one aspect of it. We have to monitor it closely. We have to do more to keep it consistent and sustain what they have achieved. And also the government needs to make the industry more attractive.
Well, we did see the Shell subsidiary in Nigeria announcing that $5 billion investment in the deepwater shore, the Bonga North. Right. But let me ask you, because we talk about this OPEC quota, not meeting OPEC quota, and this self-released report does say that we have finally met it due to the production that we have. But tell us really, how does meeting OPEC's quota production impact the country's ability to address domestic challenges such as the energy access for its people and others?
I think the biggest net gain for the country is that the more we sell, the more money comes into our coffers. It's just basic economics. The more we produce and export, meet the OPEC quota, it means that the country is making more money. Our foreign reserves generally will be boosted. There'll be more money for the government to meet its domestic needs, fund its budget, and make us a better player.
But we're still getting far below our weight, aren't we?
Absolutely.
I mean, look at the likes of Saudi. Perhaps that's apples and oranges comparison, but we're beating far below our weight.
Absolutely. Don't forget that at some point we're doing 800,000 barrels a day. Just a couple of years ago.
Sure.
We were doing 800,000 barrels a year. We've gone from, in fact, I remember during Yaradua days, we were doing about 500,000 barrels. So, and the economy took a major hit. That was what brought the amnesty to play, so the militants can keep down their weapons.
You've also seen 2 million barrels per day pre-COVID
So we
times.
should be, honestly, a country like Nigeria should be able to comfortably produce 2 million, 2.5 million barrels a day if we know what we're doing.
If we know what we're doing,
that's a fact.
Keep going.
We have to really. Yes, we pat the government on the back for bringing us from 800,000, 1.5 million barrels a day today. But actually, we should be doing better.
You know, I wanted us to talk a bit more about the Shell $5 billion investments in the Bonga North project. And also, we have that establishment of the Africa Energy Bank. These two have been touted as transformative for Nigeria. How do you see this as a turning point for Nigeria's oil and gas industry?
I am not one of those that will praise Shell. Don't forget they just evacuated, literally sold all the assets in Nigeria. Now they're trying to come into the back door. But, you know, it's a welcome development. $5 billion in any economy is a huge amount of investment. And that particular investment will help the industry. It will help us overall improve our capacities, infrastructure in that area, and also produce. So it's a great investment. It's welcome investment. We will definitely reap some of the benefits of that investment. The infrastructure bank has not taken off yet. I believe it's aimed to take off at the end of this month. I am not one that jumps at clapping when these things are announced. I like to wait and see how we take advantage of it.
You think it's too early to celebrate?
Absolutely, it's too early to celebrate. This is Nigeria, of course.
Okay, when you say this is Nigeria, let's leave it at that. Maurice Ibe, it's always a delight to speak to you. Thank you so much for being on the
Thank you so very much. It's nice to see you again. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year once again.
Thanks a lot.
All right.